Hello and welcome to Pat Bear's Anime Club. This is a ongoing series I do every 2 weeks on a different topic or theme. I was thinking about doing a preview of the next season of anime, but instead, what I'm going to do is in 2 weeks, I'm going to start talking about the shows that I've started watching. Just about every show will be out at that point. There might be like one that's starting late, but I'll be able to say like, hey, this is what I'm watching. These are my immediate thoughts about a bunch of shows to give you something to kind of check out instead of just being like, this is what I think is cool and this is what I'm excited about. Um, I'm going to watch a bunch of things. There's a girl fishing anime I'm going to check out. Girls who are fishing, not girl fishes. An anime about a fishing club with that is all ladies that are part of it, and that sounds cool. There's Tower of God. I don't know much about webtoons, but this seems like it might be interesting. There's a few shows that I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll give this a shot. We'll see what this is about. Um, that I will be talking about on streams, I'm sure, and then also in the next video. But that's not what this video is about. This video is important for me to talk about answering the question, do OAVs or OADs or movies ruin a show? Now, traditionally, you start with a manga, right? Or you do an original TV show. Uh, OVAs, original video animation, is probably the rarest thing. That is like Tenchi Muyo is a great example of Tenchi Muyo was just an original creation that was put out. You bought it on VHS tapes or laser discs. Uh, and then they made a TV show. They changed a bunch of stuff in the TV show. Then they made a second TV show. They made a third. They made a spin off. They made two other or four other or seven other sequels. And they just kept going with it and it became this whole thing. And there are shows that are loosely attached in the same universe, and there's all this stuff. Um, but most of the time, you start with a manga, they make a TV show, and then they make an OAV, or they make a OAD, and it's like, well, what's this source material? Is it wholly invented? Is it bonus stuff from the manga? Is it guest stuff done by another creator for it? Is it created by the team as filler? Is it just extra stuff that doesn't really matter? Is it to sell VHS tapes? Because, well, we're going to put at the end of this VHS tape, we only have 2 episodes to put on this tape. We're going to throw another one there. Or DVD or Blu-ray, we're going to put a bonus thing on here because now you can just go back and watch it on the streaming service. We want to entice you to get the home release. Or sometimes it comes with the manga. There's like a disc with the manga or a download code with the manga, and they're like, oh, hey, buy this, buy the hardcover of Seven, book 7, and you get this original video done with the voice actors from the show, as a way to entice you. Sometimes OAVs, OVAs, OADs, original animation, digital animation, ODAs, all interchangeable. OVAs is probably what we're going to call them now. These things are just like, yeah, they're just extra. They don't count. They're not canon. They're not canonized. They're not considered part of the story. In recent times, movies have started to be canon, and we're going to talk about some movies briefly that are canon and how that changes the world because that is, a thing that's coming in there. I don't mention it here in this video. I don't bring them up. I'm not going to bring them up per se, but sometimes a story arc is just done in a movie because that's the way they can continue the story, and it's canon. Demon Slayer is getting that treatment, which rules, because that'll be completely canonized, and like anytime they reference it, they'll be using the movie assets, and that's awesome. Um, but for the most part, it's just bonus material. And sometimes it's the worst kind of bonus material. And we're going to talk about that right now. I'm going to get into a show that has bad OVAs time and time again. That time I got Reincarnated as a Slime. Is a great show. Should it have been a double length? Probably not. It probably should have been 18 episodes. It feels like the bonus arc at the end of it doesn't really factor in and should have maybe started the next season. But for better or worse, it's still a really fun show. It is a booby show without still being the least horny isekai with a male protagonist or a non sexualized, originally male, now in a non-gendered body protagonist. But the OVAs are bad. The OADs are bad. They are actively the horniest. One is a dream sequence. Uh, and they tell you it's a dream sequence, and it's terrible. They have no influence on the plot of anything that happens. They heighten every bad part of the show, which is the brief moments of harem love triangleness in the show that they don't delve too much into. But in the OADs, they certainly do. It is meant to sell DVDs. I mean, it's a commercial business, right? But it's clearly meant to titillate. They don't go to the beach; they go to a lake. There's a physical contest. You get to see characters having fun, and Ranga in a bikini is a funny visual, but it's not. Doesn't make up for butt slapping contests as a thing, because that's in one of the OADs is female butt slapping. They're very bad, and I don't recommend them. And I think they make it worse. Dishonorable mention, the OAV for a show that isn't as good as... Because this is the good show that... And the OAVs are totally skippable. Please don't watch it. The OAV which is considered episode 13, which sucks. It's marked as episode 13. It's not episode 13. Stop it, Crunchyroll. Interviews with Monster Girls. Just came to me. That's a bad. Starts good, ends terrible. All right. Also, a show that's middling but good, that has middling but bad OVAs, is... This is a poor quality image, so I apologize for this. Danmachi. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? The first one is right after the climactic battle of the first season. It's directly after that, so it appears to be canon, but it is not. And they find an underground springs, so it's a chance for characters to wear very little clothing and to imply relationships with characters that never follow through in any regard and clearly aren't that way, but are heavily implied, and it's totally worthless and fine. The second one seems to be a fever dream and is complete garbage. I watched both these on Verve. They're subtitled on Verve. I don't know if they're anywhere else. They're not on Crunchyroll, which I always found weird because Crunchyroll has a series but doesn't have the OVAs, so that's great. So you might not even know these exist. I think the first one is serviceable, and the second one is just flat out terrible. Complete and utter nonsense and not worth your time. Awful. So they're getting a 50-50, but also clearly particularly the first season's OVA is meant for you to just watch it, buy the Blu-ray. And that's a bummer. Now, what's kind of like a good one? Interesting. Maybe even mixed bag. Let's talk a mixed bag, a real mixed bag. And that is the movies for My Hero Academia are canon. Now, I should say this. I have not seen the second movie. I have not seen it yet. I would like to. I'm going to. We'll focus. First movie is canon. And when I heard it was canon, I was like, it's very surprising. Because it's all the fun things you want, right? Like, fancy costumes and maybe we're going to see Deku with that, maybe that prototype weapon, his support gear. Maybe we'll see a version of that in the future. I don't know. But you get to see some of your favorite characters, not all of them, but some of your favorite characters doing some stuff. Introducing new characters. You get some real fun stuff with All Might. And it's canon. And that's such a surprise. And it's good. And like I said, I've heard good things about the second movie. I haven't seen it yet. I would like to. But I will see it in the future. And I've heard very good things about it. That's on my list of things to see. Now, the OVA. Good and bad. You've got character development of one of our favorite characters. You got Sue running into an old friend. A person they decided they were going to be friends with because they vibed similarly. And I think that was rad. And then on the negative side, it's the zombie shit that's just weird and kind of gross. And It's hit or miss. It's perfectly okay. As I said, I'm more interested in the fact that the movies are canon and good. Brawly for Dragon Ball is canon. The old movies were not canon, but sometimes they were interesting. No. They were at least entertaining, although there were a lot of them and not great. One Piece, same thing. A lot of One Piece movies are totally skippable, but one has basically a preview because of the manga being ahead of the anime at the time, or still is obviously. Um, like a preview of what was to come, and that was kind of neat. But yeah, kind of skippable. And then Dragon Maid. The Dragon Maid OVA, I don't know if it's canon, but it's great. It somehow is both a Valentine's episode and an onsen episode, but it brings everybody together and allows people to interact in the group settings, which are really fun. The New Year's celebration was, I think, the last time they had a group setting. Um, it furthers the character. There's a really touching, interesting moment. You get more about Kobayashi and her hesitancy, because one of my favorite things about this show, which certainly has its flaws, uh, Kana's dealings with the young lady who's in love with her, whose name escapes me for the moment, so I apologize for that, isn't great. Um, but the issue with Kobayashi and falling in love and maybe reciprocating her feelings for our good dragon girl is, well, she doesn't think she's worthy of it. It's not that it's a dragon. It's not that it's a woman. It's that I don't think I'm a full human, a full person, a full feelings. I don't, and Kobayashi wondering if she deserves happiness. Uh, and being sometimes off put by Toru and dealing with Toru, as a comedy lead character, but mostly just dealing with herself and small gestures, especially in the end of that episode. I talked glowingly about that, the OVA. It is great. To me, it's episode 14. It's just a perfect continuation of the series, and welcome to come. And I highly recommend it. I mean, Dragon Maid is great. As I said, there's some stuff that's not great in it. Shota, I feel bad, Shota. Your name is Shota. That's just, yeah. It's a hard recommendation, but it's a show I could recommend. There's some good stuff in it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. In the comments below, hey, make use of comments. One, I love seeing it. If you like this, if there's a series that you think the OVA ruined, or maybe the OVA clarified things that made it better, let me know. If you think that, like, hey, that new game OVA was great between the first two seasons, it's good. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. Or if there is we'll go Pape's Anime Club, the closing thoughts. If you think there was a show that, the OAV, like, oh, well, it completely ruined it. It rejiggered the thoughts of it. It totally undercut the satisfactory ending. It's a total sham. Let me know in the comments below. What's a good OAV? What's a good anime movie? Is there a good anime movie? Are the movies that you're like, oh, well, this series is great, and the movies were actually surprisingly really good? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Topics you'd like to see. Hey, what are you excited about in the coming seasons? Are you excited about more Food Wars? Are you excited about more Ascendance of a Bookworm? Are you, cautiously optimistic about that new Trigger anime, BNA? Because it looks cute, but it's Trigger. Ugh. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm not watching Beastars. Don't ask me to watch Beastars. You could ask me to watch Beastars, but I'm not going to watch it because it's not the kind of show I like. Bye-bye.